My girlfriend claimed she was having a solo spa day. I said, enjoy yourself. Then the spa owner sent me a thank you pic of her and her ex in matching robes. I had her bags ready when she got home. She tried to explain, so I showed her the photo. I, 34 have always prided myself on being a trusting partner. When my girlfriend of 3 years told me she needed a day to herself, a solo spa day, to decompress from work stress, I didn't think twice about it. Enjoy yourself, I told her, even transferring some extra money to her account so she could splurge on treatments. That's what you do when you love someone, right? The universe has a twisted sense of humor sometimes. I'm a freelance web developer, and I've been working with this upscale spa for about 6 months, redesigning their website and handling their digital marketing. The owner and I have a good professional relationship. We text occasionally about website updates or marketing ideas. That afternoon, while I was coding at my home office, my phone buzzed. It was the spa owner. Thanks again for recommending us. Your girlfriend and her companion seem to be enjoying our couple's package. Great to finally put a face to the name. Attached was a photo of my girlfriend wrapped in a plush white robe, champagne glass in hand, leaning against a man I immediately recognized as her ex, the one she claimed she hadn't spoken to in years. They were wearing matching robes in what was clearly the spa's couple's suite, looking cozy as hell. My stomach dropped to the floor. 3 years together. 3 years of trust, of building a life, of planning a future. All of it suddenly felt like a cruel joke. I sat there staring at that photo for what felt like hours, my mind racing through every late night at work, every girl's night out, every need some alone time excuse she'd given me over the past few months. How many of those had been lies? How long had this been going on? The spa owner sent a follow-up text. Sorry if that was unprofessional. Just thought you'd like to know your recommendation was appreciated. She had no idea what she'd just revealed. I didn't respond. Instead, I went to our bedroom and pulled out her suitcases. With mechanical precision, I packed her essential clothes, toiletries, and personal items. Not everything, just enough to make a point. I placed the bags by the front door and waited. 5 hours later, I heard her key in the lock. She walked in humming, looking relaxed and refreshed in a way that now made my blood boil. Hey babe, the spa was amazing, exactly what I needed. You should try it sometime. The massage was. She stopped mid-sentence when she saw her bags by the door and my expression. What's going on? She asked, her voice suddenly small. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I simply pulled out my phone, pulled up the photo, and held it in front of her face. The color drained from hers. I can explain, she stammered. Please do, I said, my voice eerily calm. Explain how your solo spa day turned into a couple's retreat with the ex you supposedly haven't seen in years. It's not what it looks like, she began, the most predictable line in the history of being caught. We ran into each other there by coincidence, and... Stop, I cut her off. The spa owner specifically mentioned you booked the couple's package. Together. She tried another angle. Okay, yes, we plan to meet, but it's not romantic. He's going through a really tough time and needed someone to talk to. In matching robes? With champagne? In the couple's suite that costs $500 for the day. I shook my head. You know what hurts the most? Not even that you might be cheating, but that you lied so effortlessly. That you looked me in the eye this morning and lied. Tears started streaming down her face. Please, let me explain properly. It's complicated. No, it's actually very simple, I replied. You lied. You betrayed my trust. And now your bags are packed. You're throwing me out? Just like that? Over one mistake. Her tears quickly transformed into indignation. I'm not throwing you out. You're free to stay if you want to have an honest conversation. But those bags are a reminder that I'm not a fool, and I won't be treated like one. She grabbed her phone. Fine. I'll call him to come get me. And that's when I knew. There was no coincidence. There was no helping a friend. This had been going on for who knows how long. How long? I asked quietly. She paused, thumb hovering over her phone screen. What? How long has this been going on? Her silence was all the answer I needed. Get out, I said. Now. As she wheeled her suitcase out the door, she turned back. You'll regret this. You're overreacting. I closed the door without another word and leaned against it, finally allowing myself to feel the full weight of what had just happened. But this isn't where the story ends. It's where the next chapter begins. Update 1. It's been a week since she left. She's been blowing up my phone with texts alternating between apologies and accusations. According to her latest version of events, they'd only reconnected 2 months ago, and this was the first time anything physical happened. As if that somehow made it better. I haven't responded to any of her messages. Instead, I've been doing some digging. Remember how I mentioned I handle the spa's digital marketing? Well, part of that includes access to their booking system for campaign tracking. Ethically questionable. Maybe. But finding out the truth felt more important than professional ethics at that moment. A quick search revealed she'd booked the couple's package 3 times in the past 2 months. Always on days she told me she was either working late, having lunch with a college friend, or, my personal favorite, just needs some me time. But here's where it gets interesting. I also handle some IT work for her company occasionally. Her boss and I have a good relationship. When I mentioned in passing that I hoped my girlfriend had managed to reduce her workload after all those late nights, he looked confused. Late nights? She's actually been leaving early on Tuesdays and Fridays for the past few months. Said she had your blessing since you work from home and could handle any household emergencies. Tuesdays and Fridays. The exact days of the spa bookings. I thanked him and left, pieces falling into place. This wasn't a one-time thing or a recent development. This was calculated, ongoing deception. That night, she showed up at my door unannounced. Please, she begged when I opened the door. Just 5 minutes. I miss you. I miss our home. Against my better judgment, I let her in. I made a terrible mistake, she said, tears welling up. It didn't mean anything. He reached out when he came back to town, and it just happened. But it's you I love. It's always been you. I listened silently, then pulled out my laptop and showed her the booking records. 3 times, I said quietly. And according to your boss, you've been leaving work early twice a week for months. Want to revise your story again? Her face went through a series of emotions, shock, embarrassment, then something harder to define. You checked up on me? You talked to my boss? That's invasion of privacy, she deflected. That's what you're focusing on, not the months of lying. She stood up abruptly. I came here to try and fix things, but clearly you've already made up your mind. You're just looking for reasons to vilify me. I didn't have to look very hard, did I? She grabbed her purse. I'm staying at his place anyway. At least he doesn't spy on me. No, he just helps you cheat, I replied. You two deserve each other. After she left, I poured myself a drink and made a decision. No more reacting. It was time to take control of the narrative. Update 2. 2 weeks have passed. I've been busy. First, I changed all the locks on the apartment. We're both on the lease, but after consulting with a lawyer friend, I learned that while I couldn't legally keep her from accessing the property, I could certainly make it less convenient. Next, I went through our joint finances. We didn't have a shared bank account, but we did have several shared expenses and subscriptions. I meticulously separated everything, making sure to document what was mine and what was hers. The shared streaming accounts? Password changed. The phone plan under my name that she was on? I gave her a week's notice before removing her. The credit card where she was an authorized user? Card canceled. I wasn't being petty, I was being practical. If this relationship was over, there was no reason to remain financially entangled. Then came the social media cleanse. I didn't post any dramatic breakup announcements or air our dirty laundry. Instead, I simply updated my relationship status to single and removed all our couple photos from my profiles. When friends started messaging with concerned questions, I kept my responses vague but honest. We've gone our separate ways due to trust issues. Meanwhile, she was telling a different story to anyone who would listen. According to mutual friends, she was painting herself as the victim of my controlling behavior and unreasonable jealousy. She claimed I had misinterpreted an innocent friendship and overreacted. Some people believed her. That hurt, but I refused to engage in a public mudslinging contest. The truth would come out eventually. And it did, in the most unexpected way. Last Friday, I was at a local bar with some friends, trying to take my mind off everything. I was at the counter getting another round when someone tapped my shoulder. It was him. The ex. My replacement. Whatever you want to call him. Can we talk? He asked, looking uncomfortable. We moved to a quieter corner of the bar. She told me you two were basically over, he started. That you were emotionally distant, working all the time, and that you'd agreed to see other people but keep living together for financial reasons. I laughed without humor. And you believe that? At first, yeah, but things haven't been adding up lately. She's been getting increasingly paranoid about her phone, freaking out when I ask about your apartment, and last week I found receipts for jewelry I never gave her. Jewelry I gave her, I said, the pieces clicking together. He nodded. I think she's been playing us both. We compared notes for the next hour. Turns out, their relationship hadn't just restarted 2 months ago as she claimed. They'd been seeing each other on and off for nearly a year, starting as just friends and evolving into more. But here's the kicker. He thought she was leaving me for him, while she was telling me it was just a momentary lapse in judgment. She's been staying at my place since your fight, he said. But she keeps taking mysterious work calls and disappearing for hours. Yesterday, I checked her location when she said she was at the office, and she was at some guy's apartment across town. I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. So she's cheating on both of us. He showed me his phone, a text conversation where she told him she was working late on a night when, According to her social media that I'd seen through a mutual friend, she was at a concert with someone whose face wasn't visible in any of the photos. What are you going to do? I asked him. End it, he said simply. Tonight. But I thought you deserved to know the full picture first. We weren't going to be friends, this man and I. But in that moment, we shared a strange bond. The bond of two people who had been thoroughly deceived by someone they trusted. As he got up to leave, he paused. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. If I'd known the real situation. I shook my head. She would have found someone else. This isn't on you. After he left, I ordered another drink and texted my lawyer friend. It was time to get my name off that lease. Update 3. The confrontation happened 3 days ago. After my conversation with the ex at the bar, I decided it was time to end this chapter completely. No more passive responses, no more quiet dignity. I wanted closure, and I wanted her to know that I knew everything. I texted her asking to meet at a coffee shop to discuss the apartment situation. Neutral territory, public place, safe for a potentially volatile conversation. She agreed immediately, probably thinking this was her chance to negotiate coming back. I arrived early and chose a table in the corner. When she walked in, she had that look on her face, the one that had once made my heart race but now just made me sad. The look that said she thought she could fix anything with the right words and a tearful apology. Thank you for meeting me, she said, sliding into the seat across from me. I've been hoping we could talk. We are talking, I replied. About the apartment. I want my name off the lease. Her face fell. That's it. That's all you wanted to discuss. What else is there? Us. Our relationship. 3 years together. And you're ready to throw it all away over one mistake. I took a deep breath. One mistake? Let's count, shall we? 3 spa visits with your ex in 2 months. Leaving work early twice a week for months. Lying about where you were and who you were with. Telling him we were basically over and had an arrangement. And let's not forget the new guy across town you've been visiting while staying at your ex's place. Her face went white. How did you? He and I had an interesting chat the other night, I said. Turns out, you've been lying to both of us. And apparently, there's a third guy now? You've been busy. She started to cry, but the tears didn't move me like they once would have. It's not like that, she insisted. I've been confused, trying to figure out what I want. And did you figure it out? Yes, she said, reaching for my hand. I pulled it away. It's you. It's always been you. The others were mistakes, me trying to fill some void, but... Stop, I cut her off. Just stop. Do you hear yourself? You're still trying to manipulate the situation. Still trying to make yourself the victim of your own choices. That's not fair, she protested. You know what's not fair? Building a life with someone who can look you in the eye and lie without blinking. Someone who can say I love you in the morning and meet their lover in the afternoon. She looked down at her untouched coffee. What do you want from me? I've apologized. I've admitted I was wrong. Only after being caught, I pointed out. And even then, you tried to minimize it. I don't want anything from you anymore except to finalize the separation of our lives. I pulled out a folder with paperwork my lawyer friend had prepared. This is a mutual agreement to remove my name from the lease. You can stay in the apartment if you want. I don't care. I've already moved most of my stuff out. You've been planning this, she accused, while pretending to consider reconciliation. I laughed. That's rich, coming from you. But no, I haven't been pretending anything. I've been processing and planning my exit from a relationship that's been poisoned by lies. She stared at the papers for a long moment. And if I don't sign, then things get more complicated and expensive for both of us. Your choice. After what seemed like an eternity, she picked up the pen and signed. As she did, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. For what it's worth, she said quietly, I did love you. I believe you. I replied, standing up. But love without trust isn't enough. Never was, never will be. As I walked out of that coffee shop, I felt something unexpected, not anger or sadness, but relief. The kind of relief that comes from finally putting down a heavy burden you've been carrying for too long. Final update. It's been 6 months since that day at the coffee shop. Life has taken some unexpected turns. I moved into a new apartment closer to downtown. Smaller, but it's mine, and every corner of it is free from memories of betrayal. The spa owner, feeling guilty about her unwitting role in exposing the affair, offered me a full-time position managing their digital presence across their 3 locations. The pay was better than my freelance work, and the stability has been good for me. As for my ex, I've heard through mutual friends that she and the ex-boyfriend broke up spectacularly when he caught her with the mysterious third guy. She tried to contact me a few times after that, just to talk, but I maintained my distance. Last month, I ran into her at a restaurant. She was alone, looking at her phone while picking at her food. I could have walked out, avoided the awkward encounter, but instead, I approached her table. Hey, I said simply. She looked up, surprised. Hey yourself. You look good. Thanks. You too. An uncomfortable silence stretched between us. I'm sorry, she finally said. For everything. I've had a lot of time to think about what I did, and there's no excuse. I nodded. I appreciate that. Are you seeing anyone? She asked hesitantly. I am actually. It's new, but it's good. Honest. Something like regret flashed across her face. You deserve that. Everyone does, I replied. Even you. As I walked back to my table where my date was waiting, I realized something profound. The best revenge wasn't making her suffer or exposing her lies to everyone we knew. The best revenge was moving on, rebuilding, and finding happiness that no longer depended on her presence in my life. The betrayal still stings sometimes when I let myself remember, but those moments grow fewer and farther between. Trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild, but trust in myself, in my ability to recognize truth from lies, to set boundaries and stand by them, that's stronger than ever. And that, more than anything else, feels like victory.